Progress.
Good evening. This is the daily technical update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 on Thursday, May the 23rd, 2024. Well, it did take all night and part of this morning for Nvidia to kind of get everything up towards its highs and get well above $1,000, and for our indexes to reach their highs and appearing to have completed their individual third waves. Now, starting here with the NASDAQ, I'm actually going to start on the 1 hour chart and to kind of show that what we got going on. There's the minute wave 4 down there, and that is at the April 19th low. And so again, tomorrow, May expiration, are we going to be equivalent now? Similar? In other words, are we going to have another strong down day? It took much longer in April for the market to drop. Today, it all came in one day thus far. So are we going to get that other little bit of a cycle trough into an expiration? Now, it's not the monthly. That was an April monthly. Last Friday was the May monthly. And now we're just doing the afterburn. So, but still within the May, and it's still a Friday expiration. So it's going to get interesting because now everything's out. Everything that the market wants to whip into shape to speculate on what could or could not happen. So we've now heard basically from Fed members on about interest rates and about, gee, we need to be more cautious. We need to make sure that inflation and our 2% target, just like, great, good choice. And I know, don't mean to be snide, but I can't help myself. But whether that's going to be met and how quickly they could start to reduce the rate, or do they still need to hike the rate? So everything's still on the table. Market still doesn't like that news. And then basically, employment, all the good stuff. So these narratives are now coming back around, and we're now starting to see more of a market reaction. And just for example, that the market opened at the highs and at all-time highs, and then pretty much immediately started to sell off. So Dow ends down 605. The S&P ends down 40. The NASDAQ ends down, the cash market ends down 81. The futures market, I believe, was down about 100. Nvidia, on the other hand, finishes up 88.50, and it had been up over 100. So in other words, I think it topped at around 1,059, something like that. Came back down along with the market, but ended up, closing still up nicely. So interesting day in that measure. So here we are. Now, as I had left it yesterday, I said, okay, let's not be surprised if we get a run up to 19,000, followed by a sell-off back down. So in other words, what I was trying to describe was that we go up, we finish this third wave, we come back down. Now, I actually was saying, I'm going to do it the way that I actually told you, that I was thinking that it would not necessarily be the minuet third wave. I kept thinking the minuet third wave should have been done lower. Maybe it was done here, maybe it was done here, and it kept subdividing and going up. So I had left it out here, but I expected that we still needed one more rally up, and thought, okay, we'll get that based on Nvidia. Nvidia's earnings came out. Everybody loved it. They pumped the stock, etc. But then it didn't really start to go until after Globex was already in play. And then suddenly it was up 179 versus being up, I believe at the time, Maybe it was up 50 or 60 at the beginning of Globex. And I think that is when everybody decided, oh, you know what? They're doing a 10-for-1 split, and that's coming in June. And then they're going to get paid a dividend, which they said there was like 150% increase in the dividend, but the dividend's a penny. I'm like, okay, so what were you paying before? Some crazy little pittance? Anyway, here we are, hourly chart. So put a little other little things on here. So what I am, because I use this kind of this magenta-ish, purplish color for my minuet degree labeling, and this is sub-minuet, by the way, very detailed, and not very detailed, but very long, very subdividing, where we had 1, 2, 3 subdivided, 4, 5, not necessarily subdivided, but just really worked out into its own 5 and a long 5. That finished. We now starting on the fourth wave down. Now, what I did, I'm going to bring this down first of all to my 15-minute chart so that we can see. Oh, that's not going to let me do that. Okay, that's interesting. Something just happened. There it goes. I actually want to do this because I want to bring this in so I can show the interior to this. So basically, this is the zone. Here is the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree, right? Mind you that this is the minuet. So we're looking for the sub-minuet, and there it is, wave 4. And there's the window. So I put a box around it. It's the same color as that, by the way, but it just comes out lighter. And so that we can see that that 4 goes along with this 4. Now, what can we count here? Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to get a 5 and call it wave A, and then get a B, and then we're going to get a C. So this is going to take longer to roll out. That's my feeling. Otherwise, we had an A, a B, and this is the C, and we're going to drop in, because don't forget, we already are in. That low took us right in to, on the fib level, to the top side. So it went down, touched 18,623. It actually got a little bit below it, get down to 21 and a half, and then came back up, and now just kind of sitting around deciding what it should or should not do. But I would like to see it come in between, because the marks are 0.236, 0.382, 0.50 on the bottom, if that should come into play. Now, right now, they're well within, the market is well within the price territory of the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree. So, and that low is at 18,545. So that is essentially what Elliott told us, that it would find its terminus. So this fourth wave would find its endpoint within the price territory of the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree, and it could go right to that terminus, which is 18,545. Now, I don't have any other support levels down there. I don't have any fibs levels down there. But if this is just going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave A, 3 waves wave B, 5 waves wave C, it's going to be a zigzag, and it truly can bring itself all the way down to here. Now, where's our next 3? It was right here. So we have one here, then we have another one here. So, and that's tiny at the bottom end. Now that also did kind of, but this works out to be more of like, if it's 1, 2, and then this could be 1, 2, and then it's 1, 2 again, 3, 4, 5. So it gets confusing, but it is a nice 3 waves. That was a nice 3 wave. And those are where I'm going to base where I think I can find support. So I got that one, then I have this one, then we have this one, and then this one. So we have those support areas where the market corrected previously. This one, I think, can likely come down into here or down into here. And it should, unless, again, this is A, B, and we're coming down in a C wave and maybe just need a little bit more. Then we put the 4 and then it rallies again. Now that rally, let me go back out and let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. And what we got to put back up there is, I'm not sure what happened to it, is I'm going to put back up the fibs for, where did I put that? I did put it here. It's an irregular wave 2. And I'm going to put that over to here. Oops. Come on. Let's get that done right. Right there, please. Come on. Doesn't want to do it. All right, so I need to go. We're just guesstimating right now. Minute wave 5 finishes somewhere in 19,778. That is where wave 5 would be equal to minute wave 1. So again, we're in minuet 4 to go, and then once that's done, we have minuet wave 5, and then that completes minute wave 5, and then that also completes minor wave 5, and one larger. Let me go all the way out to here, the intermediate third wave. So that's kind of what I'm looking, that we're getting ready to put in this larger peak. And then once we're into that finishing move, we stand, don't forget the high thus far is 19,035, right? From today. And so we have the ability, 19,023. And I'm still believing 19,167. Again, now remember, that's the primary B. So that's not even associated. It is associated with this count, but not in the way that I'm counting it. This is going to get really so very interesting after we finish this intermediate wave 3 up here, pull back again in a 4th wave. Mind you, that is going to be, it's going to seem pretty weird. We're going to come down, go back up a little bit higher and come back down, but go a bit lower, because that would come our next window. This would be the window for the intermediate 4th wave, because it's the minute 4th wave of 1 lesser degree. That's where we'll be looking. We're looking for it to come back into here. And then we're looking at those April lows. So we're going to go up, create new highs. More than likely, it may happen next week, but I'm looking probably into that first week of June. And I'm thinking that this correction may take us into next week. And that's going to coincide with some cycles that we're looking for the cycle trough, the cycle low, to kind of come in end of May, 1st of June. And it's fitting in so perfectly, because this goes along with the longer term cycle, which is pushing higher. So that one came in early, and yet we still have another one that's going to kind of come down into the end of May, but this is kind of still working its way up. But we should now have some together pressure, cycle and market, to kind of bring it in and bring us down, finish this, go back up, and then we're out into June, and then we get the bigger other crust and that rollover. So, and then that maybe puts enough pressure on, and we cut down into here, and then we still have one more. So I'm actually thinking that we got August, September as a window when this whole larger move might be done. At least that's going to be my initial estimate there. So in the meantime, we got to finish this little fourth wave. We got to go back up in a fifth. We got to finish the next third, which is the intermediate degree, the minute 5, the intermediate 3, excuse me, minute 5, the minor 5, intermediate wave 3, and then come back down. Now take that back. I said here, I take that back. We're not finishing that. We are, let me go back out here, correct myself. Glad I caught that. When we come back up and we're finishing the minor fifth wave with this minute fifth, we'll be finishing the minor fifth and then finishing the intermediate third. That corrective phase brings us down into here. It'll be the fourth wave. That'll be initial. And this will be more of the target area of where intermediate wave 4 will correct. And that might take us into that September. And then we go into an intermediate fifth wave up. So we still have some fireworks. So maybe it will definitely be end of year before we're totally maybe done with this. We shall see. We shall see. Right now, let's deal with the here and now. Back down to that hourly chart. Here we are sitting around. We still need to determine, is this AB or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave A? That I think we'll find out by tomorrow. I think we'll get the word on that by tomorrow. And because if it comes down as 5, then we're looking for 3. We can run the fibs and we'll know how far it should get. Okay. Moving averages, well, yep, doing what we thought they should do. Here they are. They're all puking. They're all heading down pretty strongly. The 13 and the 20 both breaking below the 50, which is also turned lower, and the 200 is going, okay, I'll just go flat. You know, does a possum trick here. And market, not quite, at least on the hourly base, not working its way towards oversold, but not quite there. Granted, look at that. New all-time high, divergence on your RSI, because there's the third, and that's where the relative strength peaked here, and then we go up for a new all-time high. That was other thing that contributed to that. All right, let's go over and take a look at the S&P. S&P, it did the same thing. Went up, made its high. This one, 53.64. All new all-time high, 53.64. And then immediate rejection. But here again, same deal. What are we looking at? Come on. I'm not sure why it does this. There you go. There, thank you. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of what it does look like. Because if it's supposed to be a B wave, that should be taken off a little bit more than just sitting here waiting. So it does look 1, 2, 3, 4. We get a 5. Maybe brings it down into here, or at least into here. And then we do a B wave, and then we get a C wave, which could bring us down into here, or definitively it should here. Again, here's our window. And that is the, let me bring this back on. I'm not making the same mistake twice, am I? So we have the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd have to go inside here, 1, 2. This is actually the fourth, but we've already surpassed it, so that's why I brought it down into here. So 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, yeah. It's weird, but I am still going to use this one as being the one that the market will come down into. And the reason being is that I ran because I put minute wave 3 up there. Here's minute 2, the end of my minute wave 2. And so there's where we run our fibs. And those are the fibs 236, 382, and they wrap themselves around this one. So that's the one where I'm thinking we come into. We're not quite dropping in as we did in the NASDAQ, but that really kind of tells us up here in this corner, we have 5273, and this low is 52.16. So it's about a $60 window to get itself into and finish up. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave A, B, and then we get a C wave. Because remember, if it's going to do 5 down, it should do 3 up, and it won't be a flat, there'll be a zigzag. That brings us down into here. And so below this window, we have this next one. So, but I'm thinking it's going to be this guy, not necessarily this guy, because we've already exceeded it by a bunch. So it brings me down to here for this fourth wave. And then once minute 4 is done, we do a minute wave 5, and that then completes minor wave 5. And that then, I'm going to take it back out so that we can see on this chart, minor wave 5 then completes intermediate wave 3. Now, and then we have exactly the exact same levels to the April low, because that was minor wave 4, excuse me. So we get up here, our upside remains kind of the same. We'll put in some additional once we get past, once we get the fourth wave in, I can go from minute 1 over to minute 4, wherever it should come in, and that will give us some additional levels. Right now, 618 for minor wave 5, 54.86. We had the minute third wave, that's when way up there, which if this is hits, I'm going to take those out. That should be gone. And this guy, not sure what that one was attached to. Oh, that for minute 3, and that should be gone. So let me get rid of those. And what do we have left? As we got let me put our fibs back. And let me put these back on up to here. And then we have this, and I will straighten out that window. I'd like it because I'm going to leave it that way. So if you guys come back and you want to look at it, then I'm going to take all of this down, 3, 5. These I'll take off. And this is for it's a minute. And I'm going to put the color on there so they're all grouped together. And you see that and that all grouped together, and that presents a good clean picture. So what am I looking for? I am looking for this to continue tomorrow. Rallies we will get them, but if this is again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we'll get an ABC rally where A and C are the rally portion, B with a little bit of a corrective decline. But so what we have left in here is the possibility of 4. We still get a 5. 5 might happen overnight. Then I'd be looking for the rally, the B wave rally to begin, B of 4, and then get a C wave. And then we'll be looking down into here. And again, with that in mind. Moving averages, same deal. Not quite as far deep as the NASDAQ made it today, but we do have the 13, we do have the 20, both now crossing and heading lower, and the 50 is going flat, and the 200 wants to. So what do we have coming out tomorrow in terms of economic data? We have on Friday durable goods and consumer sentiment. That be it. Durable goods at 8:30 a.m. And we have one Fed governor going out and speaking at 9:35 a.m. and then at 10 a.m. consumer sentiment, the final from May. So, okay, interesting because it's still May. But that number will come out. More important, durable goods. And that could, we'll see what it does. But I'm looking for follow-through on what got started today. All right. So the next, again, tomorrow, Friday, it's an expiration. So we've got that dealing with and the numbers. So as far as earnings reports, they'll be coming out before the market. If anything important, I'm not aware of. And Monday is a holiday here in the United States. It is the Memorial Day holiday. It's the kickoff to summer. Now, normally what can happen is that you had a lot of stuff done today. Traders are taking tomorrow off, so they want a 4-day weekend, and they're going to go off with their families. They're going to go to different places, etc. Who knows? So the markets will be closed. The U.S. markets will be closed on Monday. I am assuming that Globex will open on Sunday. But I can't tell you how active or inactive that would be. And then that, if they're following it through to Monday, then the markets, the Globex would finish, I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern. No, maybe it's even as high as 1. Again, I don't know. Check your local listings. How about that one? But I think Globex is open. The U.S. markets will be closed. And so I will attempt to put together the weekly technical picture, but instead of being due on Saturday, it likely will come out on Sunday again, and we'll go from there. So next weekly due on Sunday, the next daily will be on Tuesday. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody, and have a great trading day tomorrow.